Just because Literature Week is over doesn't mean the fun here on the couch has to be over too. So as you all can clearly see, I am on the second couch, and that is where we are going to be spending the rest of the week. I'm going to be trying to shoot as many episodes as I can here, no promises. But anyways, I do have some good news, and that is Literature Week is over. And, it's probably for the best. It gets kind of tiring talking about goblins and fairies and knights. Instead, we are going to be looking into the world of science. And science has just way more fascinating stuff than literature. It has mathematics and chemicals and rocks. And you have to memorize all the characteristics of the rocks and how all their different parts But we are going to be trying to make it interesting. We are going to be looking at science fiction and the plausibility of that, seeing whether there could be any truth to those science fiction ideas. And I'm going to have four categories here. We're going to have confirmed, plausible, sounds plausible but isn't really, and finally, totally bunkers. So let's start off this list with a hero. Hello everyone! I am S-Man. Okay, so in the movie Superman, there's this one scene where Superman starts flying around the Earth, and he goes around it so fast that he's able to go back in time and save Lois Lane. So anyone sitting in the theater probably thought this idea was absolutely insane. And they were right, sort of. But it does have a little bit of scientific plausibility. Now, here's what could actually happen. If Superman, and this is assuming Superman is something that is just indestructible and actually can go as fast as the speed of light, were to go around the world, he would indeed time travel. But he would not go into the past, he would go into the future. So, I guess I'm going to give this one a sounds plausible but isn't really, because it does have a sort of amount of science to it. But anyways, I don't really know how scientific Superman is or S-Man. Oh, wait, S-Man, Seth. I didn't even mean that, but yeah, Seth Man. We'll go with that. Okay, here on the couch we love dinosaurs, and one of my favorite dinosaur movies is Jurassic Park. Now, when everyone was sitting in the theaters, and they started talking about how they were going to get dinosaurs on this island, everyone was like, that sounds plausible. What they did was, they found this mosquito in this amber, and it had been in the amber for millions of years, so it was like fossilized. And they pulled the mosquito out, and they got the blood out, and it had dinosaur DNA in it, and that was how they were able to make an entire island of dinosaurs. It just basically cloned them. And I for one was like, that has to be at least at some level true. And it's not. The problem is that the DNA disintegrates, and just to make myself feel a little bit better about this, because I totally bought this. I don't know if there was some smart scientist sitting in the theater just like, oh, I know that's not true. But I bought it for one. I'm going to give this a sounds plausible. Okay, so while making this list, I realized that not a lot of these actually were scientifically possible. So I'm definitely going to do one right now just to make you all happy. And that is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Pretty much all of the space travel has some kind of scientific accuracy to it. The idea of being able to exit into zero gravity, no sound in a vacuum, and the pasty food, all of that, totally true. Stanley Kubrick does a good job with space movies. Alright, I couldn't resist doing this one, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And I gotta say, it's as much as I want to say that it's possible, it seems like it's totally bonkers. You cannot travel back in time. For one thing, I tried this on my show, and for another, there's just like no scientific ground for this. The best you could hope for is they're trying to say that the DeLorean goes through a wormhole, but even that, if you look at the time travel in the movie, it just doesn't go along with that. It's not saying that this is occurring in a parallel dimension. it's saying it's occurring in the same timeline. So Back to the Future, as much as I love it, is not true. You cannot go back in time if you go 88 miles per hour. You can only travel to a parallel universe with dog people. And finally, Planet of the Apes. In the movie Planet of the Apes, a bunch of scientists are hibernating in space, so they wake up, they land on a planet, find a whole bunch of apes, and soon realize they are on Earth in the future. And there's a lot of different ways at looking at this. It doesn't seem like monkeys could evolve the intelligence of a human. Certainly they couldn't speak like a human. But I'm going to go ahead and give this one a plausible because the time travel depicted is pretty much absolutely accurate. If they're going just into the future and thousands of years, and yeah, I guess maybe we could have messed around with monkeys' DNA and made these intelligent creatures. Who knows? That sounds plausible to me, and I have to admit, looking at these articles, you never really see much about the plausibility of Planet of the Apes for some reason, even though it's probably one of the more scientifically accurate movies, at least compared to Superman, who just... there's just nothing there that's scientific. Superman's basically just Magic Man. So, anyways, those are at least my theories about all this. And I did leave a works cited below in the description if you want to check it out. But as always, remember, think big, think different.